right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the China Major South American Regional Qualifiers here. We have a decider match out of Group A. The winner advances on to the playoffs. They'll be taking on X-Pain X, also known as Test 1, 2, 3, later on today. The loser, well, their run is done. That is the format for you. You only get a couple losses in the group stages before you are ultimately knocked out. Pretty much to the point with this event. It ain't easy. It ain't meant to be, though. I'm BreakyCPK, going to be joined by Elevated as my co-caster. Real quick note as we are jumping into this game. Okay, so as you may know, obviously we've been on a bit of a delay, unfortunately, with some issues that we ran into. About 45 minutes ago was when the game was supposed to start. Point being, Playmakers, their side, one of their members, King Tekka, unfortunately wasn't able to make it, and they were trying to find a stand-in. They have used a couple of stand-ins in this event. The stand-in that they originally had actually had already played for another team in the same qualifiers. So, simply put, you're not allowed to do that for a very good reason. They had to go through the process of trying to find another stand-in. Because it ultimately ended up taking so long, it was decided by the admins. They're going to give a default win to INF.Y in game number 1, and now game 2 is taking place right here. So, there you go. It's technically a 1-0 lead for INF.Y in this best of 3. This really is game 2, although a game didn't happen. Okay, I got that out of the way. Elevated. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm excited to finally get into some games. I got to play a couple more games this morning. I'm starting to feel more comfortable on the patch myself, and I am really, really excited to see all the possibilities that these teams can come up with as the meta develops and as everybody else gets comfortable on the patch as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this whole week, no doubt exciting, again, for multiple reasons. Like you talked about 7.20, of course, it's a major on the line after all, the second one of the season here. So excitement all around when it comes to some competitive Dota. And a fun start, no doubt, right here. This is something we got the Luna Dazzle coming out on the side of INF.Y. Luna, of course, considered one of the more powerful cores as a result of the patch. She did get toned down a little bit in that recent one. Still very strong, though, with an aura. I'm excited to see this Brewmaster, though, and kind of the rework of him and how he fares in these competitive games.
Yeah, definitely. Tusk also changed pretty significantly. He has way more kill potential in the early game, as if he needed more with the tag team, which provides a super strong slow and bonus damage. I think Tusk plus Brewmaster sounds like a nightmare to lane against. Yeah. They're just going to be running at you and just diving you constantly.
Yeah, that tag team, I got the chance to, there was an earlier series that I casted yesterday. We actually did watch that, and you're right. It's kind of crazy that not only the damage that Tusk can do, but just the idea that he could just sit on top of you, and like you mentioned, with the Brewmaster lane especially, that does sound pretty brutal. So, you know, if they're going to run the Luna Dazzle down there, maybe they won't, though. They could avoid it, of course, send that to the top lane. That could be an aggressive dual lane. We'll see how they try to deal with that, if that eventually does come out here from the side of Playmakers. But going to the banning stage, one more ban to come before the next tier picks, of course. You see the initial bans, by the way. Grimstroke, once again, taken away. Not going to see him yet.
Nope, definitely not a hero that we're getting to see a lot of. Interesting to see Axe still left in the pool. That's something that we've seen banned out quite a bit. Obviously, Playmakers most likely have their offlaner, so they're probably not going to pick up the Axe to deal with the Dazzle Shallowgrave. Although, at this point, it's kind of hard to tell who counters who, since Dazzle's Poison Touch is extremely good against Axe in the laning stage. And most people are just kind of skipping Shallowgrave until they absolutely have to skill it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea exactly. You level up the Poison Touch, you level up the heal. So, sure, Shallowgrave 1-point value is nice, and Axe is a good hero against that. But, yeah, would Playmakers really be picking it up here with what they have so far? So, feel pretty confident that's not going to be the case. They're going to ban the Morphling with that 5th ban and now decide on who they want next. It's something we kind of noticed casting a different event right after patch 7.2. We saw a bit of Luna. They were kind of pairing the Luna with a lot of these more strength cores. Things like Dragonite comes to mind, Centaur. You know, these strength cores that, with the Luna R especially, they become just massive to the point you really can't kill them because of underfarmed you are in the early game.
Yeah, I'd actually kind of forgotten about that, but that's a really good point. It was like the Luna plus like a Centaur support and then Dying support and then like 2 other strength heroes a lot of the time, and all these strength heroes were just ending up with like 2,000, 2,500 HP at 10 to 15 minutes into the game, which seemed like way too much to actually cut through for any lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a tough task if they choose to go that. I do like the Shadow Demon, though. I've been selling this hero for a while. Of course, great synergy also with the Luna, so definitely excited to see this pick.
Yeah, I'd like to see them pair it with the Centaur in particular. Centaur, I think, is quite good against the likes of a Brewmaster who wants to split and then use that control. But if in the process of splitting, everybody's running away at Mach speed because Centaur is stampeded, pretty good counter. Centaur plus Shadow Demon is also one of the most brutal kill lanes in the entire game. The Disruption plus Soul Catcher into the Stomp and Double Edge is an incredible amount of burst damage in the first few levels.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. So most certainly a pick that wouldn't be surprised to see in that 4th spot from Infamous Young. If they have the same idea or not, we'll see. But 3rd pick for Playmakers. Still could use their main support, you figure, right now, as well as their mid and their safe lane, probably. They're going to go the Winter Wyvern 3rd pick here. Well, actually, on that note, it has... Again, I don't know if you've been watching much more than me, but I haven't really got the chance to see a lot of Brewmaster yet. Has he been seen as, like, the position of 1? Or could we potentially see that, with especially the way he's kind of changed a little bit and more kind of fighting potential?
I think I've mostly just seen him as a 3, but sometimes he gets run in the safe lane when they, swap the lanes up a little bit. But I don't think I've actually seen a straight-up carry Brewmaster, although his crit is ridiculously strong. I'm pretty sure it's only been as a support or a offlaner.
Okay. Well,
or at least 3.
Yeah. And we'll see what Playmakers decides to do with the Brewmaster here. But again, still looking back at the Centaur, man, really seems like a pick, because you're right. Not only with the Luna aura, but the Shadow Demon Centaur lane can be absolutely devastating in terms of just taking you out.
Really good magic burst, too, against the Winter Wyvern save. So I'd actually be a little surprised if they don't pick it. And, I mean, it's possible they just don't value the hero very highly since the Stampede cooldown has been increased in the recent patches, but most teams that I've seen still seem to think Centaur is pretty damn viable.
Oh, yeah.
And the Retaliate seems to be better as sort of like a compensation for nerfing Stampede.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, it's absolutely. If I would love to hear the argument overall that suggests that Centaur is just not really that good of a hero anymore, because absolutely still one of the stronger offlane heroes, I think, in the game to this day. So, again, they're thinking about this, though, so clearly have something else in mind and trying to kind of... Okay, they're going to go the Sand King route. Obviously, a hero that got changes too. The whole Sandstorm, and he's able to move it and everything. So it's not the synergy that we thought was ideal. Still, they got a stun set up. Not as much damage, though, in that landing phase, at least.
Yeah, I mean, Sand King is another one of those heroes that I know a lot of, at least NA people, value as one of the best offlaners, especially prioritizing not the Blink Dagger, but going for like a Vanguard Crimson, those tanky items, and just kind of running at you as a Sand King, forcing you to fight into him in his Caustic Finale. And then, he has a decent setup with the Shadow Demon as well to start off a nice combo with his stun.
So now Playmakers has to react to that. They're safe lane, you'd figure. Again, expect to see the Brewmaster in the off lane. See what direction they go here. It's so hard to, again, make the call right now, but Phantom Assassin has been pretty popular as far as the core potential. I know Naga Siren's also kind of hit or miss for some teams and trying it out, so a couple of these cores that come to mind potentially.
Anti-Mage.
Ooh.
Wow. Well, this is a Kotaro hero for sure.
Now, does the Shadow Demon purge, like if he was to purge him before and then actually I know this because I was playing against an anti-mage as a Shadow Demon after the patch, and I had the same thought, and sure enough it works where you can purge anti-mage as long as he doesn't reflect it. Then if he tries to cast the reflect after that, it'll just be purged off immediately. So you just have to be careful if you're the Shadow Demon not to obviously hit yourself with it, but if you can get it in between, it's really strong.
Okay, so because the purge persists and does it constantly, the spell shield that he activates afterwards will actually be purged.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good interaction to note. Shadow Demon is fairly decent against Anti-Mage, though, in lane, because he gets the Disrupt, he gets the Mana Break. Anti-Mage Mana Breaks himself. He no longer has a Blink available because he has no mana. And Sand King, pretty good against melee heroes in general. So It's an interesting pick. I have not seen an anti-mage in the new patch. I don't think I've seen an anti-mage played in a while, actually.
I have not seen anti-mage played in a... I'm trying to think. Again, I casted the earlier in the week and then yesterday. I don't believe I've seen AM yet in the competitive game, at least. Like I said, I had it in a pub game, but that doesn't really matter. So I will say, going to the patch notes initially, he was one of the heroes that, as we have a Zeus pick there, but he was one of the heroes that it felt like that ability was going to be so cancer, honestly. It's just the idea that it's like a 3-second downtime, and I was even kind of messing around with it. You get an Octa Rain Core on this hero, and all of a sudden it's like a half-second in between. It's absurd. As far as potential, but
I mean, that seems to be one of the themes of this patch, is just giving heroes free items, right? So Luna gives her whole team like a free ultimate orb, basically. Anti-Mage has a free Lotus Orb / Lincoln Sphere, or his old Aghanims. You know, you've got the just additions like Centaur. He gets like a free Rapier if he tanks like 13 hits from other heroes. Or it's pretty silly. I am a little concerned about the pace that Playmakers is going to have to set with this game. It feels like the Luna lineup, the Sand King, especially if he goes for that tanky Vanguard build, can just kind of run down the lanes right now. And it's going to be completely on this Brewmaster, Tusk, and Zeus really to create enough space for this anti-mage and get early kills to kind of disrupt the tempo of Infamous Young.
Kunkka coming out of the final pick, matches up against the Zeus right here. It's figure is going to be the idea at least. So interesting final pick, but definitely team fight coming together nicely, both with the Sand King and the Kunkka on top of that. You're mentioning, yeah, it's really going to be a case of Playmakers needs to find that space for the anti-mage. Kunkka, though, good against anti-mage, obviously, with the X, bringing him back after he blinks. Going to be fun to use that interaction. Some snowball saves potentially to come into play, but it's going to be a rough early game for Playmakers, it feels like, at this point.
All three of their lanes look quite strong, and Kunkka had a nice little buff, an additional, I think, 15% damage to his cleave. I believe it's 165% damage now. So I am definitely a little concerned about the pace of the game for Playmakers. That being said, I am very excited to see this anti-mage and, of course, the Brewmaster with his new Drunken Brawler that is hilarious to watch.
Yeah,
in action.
Yeah, I love the idea of how they basically kind of made the theme of the hero, work with that ability. So, well, obviously, you already had that kind of theme going, but incorporating that into an ability and throwing in that randomness of the either you run slower or you run a lot faster, it's pretty clever there. It is worth noting, of course, that they did take away the fire synergy of the hero at 7.20 LC, and I think that kind of there was a lot of concern that was being suggested by the community. I noticed after that ability came out with the ideas like, is this where we really want the game going? Trying to build strategies specifically. I liked it, but I can also see why they decided to go away from it, at least for now. We'll see if it eventually comes back, all these kind of themes and these synergies of specific spells, fire, water, whatever, but anyway.
Right, and you're referring to Cinderbrew now being activated by 80 spell damage of any sort, not just fire.
Correct, yes, the Cinderbrew ability. Yep. So they toned it down a little bit, of course, to make up for that, but still. No longer just fire, it is any spell with the synergy. Okay, so yeah, Luna cores are known for potentially going aggressive when it comes to the laning phase, but doesn't look like that's to be the case here. Instead, the Shadow Demon Sand King setting up bottom with Luna right now at the top lane. Is there any reason why you could see them doing that, or does it make sense to you that she's in the safe lane?
I mean, they probably feel fairly comfortable with the kill potential from the Sand King and Shadow Demon. They may feel that they can actually just put more pressure on this anti-mage with that lane than the Luna lane. And Brewmaster is not as annoying a matchup for carries. He no longer has the Drunken Haze, so it's not like he's just giving you 80% mischance or whatever it was constantly. So a little bit easier for carries to last hit, at least against Brew. And yeah, I think it's really just the pressure from the Sand King Shadow Demon that they're prioritizing.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I see people asking, we didn't really address it outside of the initial point, but the stand-in for Playmakers, honestly, we're not really sure who it is. Historia is a name that he's also known by, apparently. That's the most information I got for you. It is not Benji's. I can guarantee that. At least I'm pretty sure that was part of the issue. He has stood in for this team before, but he wasn't able to make it today. So I'm fairly confident to say it's not him. But as far as who it actually is, again, we're not 100% sure. So, but glad I could provide that information.
Yeah, was it Benji as their official player?
King Tekka was originally their fifth,
okay.
From my understanding. Benji's, again, was kind of standing in for them, or at least that's how it was. That's what the admins were suggesting. So,
gotcha.
Look at
double
that
crit on Luna.
damage. Oh, he gets hit up there. But I'm watching Dazzle. Tusk is just running at him with that new tag team you're mentioning. Yeah, he's going to have to TP, exactly. If he doesn't TP right there, another tag team was coming up, and he probably dies. So that's pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean, 75% movement slow is ridiculous. And 0.5 second duration is quite a bit longer than an Echo Saber. So it's like a stronger Echo Saber that he just gets in terms of control from that ability.
All right, into the actual laning phase we go, though. I assume it was a 2-for-2 bounty split, it looks like. Our mid matchup, Kunkka versus the Zeus, and you figure Faker here on the Zeus, it's he's going to be able to. Well, right now he gets that lightning bolt level 1, but eventually going to start spamming that arc lightning as well. And annoying, sure, but I feel like Kunkka should be able to at least get some decent CS with that Tidebringer still. But
yeah, Zeus probably going to do a little bit better than most heroes against Kunkka because he's able to actually force Kunkka off the lane and use his arc lightning to kind of contest that insane base damage that does have from Tidebringer.
Shadow Demon did get the Shadow Poison at level 1. I'm looking back at the middle lane. Geez, Faker really positioned up there. But going the Poison at level 1, it's not something we see too often, I feel like, on some of these Shadow Demons. Usually they get the Disruption, maybe even the Soul Catchers with the rework on top of that, but likes the idea of spamming that Shadow Poison and going to try to set up a kill. It's really, if you get it to 5 stacks, that's where that absolute kill potential comes into play. So not going to really get that here. The one downside of leveling up Poison first is your mana pool goes by pretty quickly, as we're seeing here. So you got to be careful with that.
Yeah. Top lane.
He's dead. And a crit on top of that, not only with a tag team, but yeah, dear God, if Dazzle gets remotely in a lonely spot like there, he is dead.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was thinking, looking at this pairing. The essentially guaranteed dive potential. The snowball is going to take you on top of whatever hero you target. You have the slow from tag team plus the bonus damage, and the slow from Brewmaster plus the bonus damage from this crit. You're going to see a lot of kills, I think, from this duo.
You already have Tusk kind of wrap it around. This is a Sentry here, of course. I assume they did block it initially with the ward. It looks like only one ward currently on the map, so able to take care of that. But middle lane, Faker's going to be able to pick up the haste rune, as there's the snowball in top lane. They're going for Luna. Tag team put down. Slowing down by the Thunderclap, the Ice Shard block. Yeah, what can Dazzle do other than kind of just throw out one heal and hope for the best? No Shallow Grave yet, of course. You said it, man. It really is ridiculous. They're going to need to do something about this top lane.
Yeah, what? What could they possibly do?
Yeah, it's a tough. That kind of goes back to the point of maybe doing a switch, but you can see them reacting as Sand King goes down. Wow, holding his ground. Definitely was overconfident, though. Excel just lands another Splinter Blast, and easy take.
That was a pretty big misplay. This is not a lane that they should be losing. Anti-Mage has the most last hits in the game, and back to that point about Shadow Demon going the Poison. Basically, you go the Poison and Disruption as your two abilities if you feel like you're just going to be spamming the lane and playing more of like a passive Shadow Demon trying to put out damage from distance. But the Disruption Soul Catcher combo is what you go for if you feel like you're going to kill a bunch.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused why they didn't just go for that, since they do have the setup for the stun on Sand King.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I was also watching the middle lane. That was a bit of a misplay, honestly, by Kunkka. As back to the top lane real quickly. Dazzle, he throws on a heal, and that's all he can do once again. The tag team, that slow is just so intense, and eventually take her out. But he tried to do the X trick where, port it back to base with the X on himself, but Zeus just walked right up and used the arc light or the lightning bolt and got the mini stun, and so all of a sudden he had to just deliver regen and wasted all the precious time in the process. Again, a bit of a misplay as Excella's just going to commit suicide right there. So this start is looking very good for Playmakers. Maybe we're a little concerned of the, on paper, what potentially could have been a rough laning phase. But you know what? They're the ones that all 3 lanes are actually going very well.
Yeah, the main concern was just the pressure being put on anti-mage. But hey, they're not really pressuring this anti-mage very much. And this Tusk Brewmaster lane is going to get very scary very quickly, as if it wasn't already. This could snowball extremely hard.
Wyvern setting up in the middle lane, but realizing...
Yeah, Luna's dead again. There's like literally nothing she can do.
I'm surprised Dazzle, he got level 3. He actually chose not to go Shallow Grave. He went another level in Poison Touch. That feels really greedy to me, the way this lane's going, man. Like, I mean, sure, more damage is nice and Poison Touch is a good ability, but you're not remotely killing these guys right now.
No, it's there's no time to even really build up the harass, which is what you want the Poison Touch for.
Yeah.
Even getting another point in Shadow Wave seems like it would maybe do more work just for the extra burst, heal, and damage.
Gonna have a pause right here, coming out from Radiant side with Playmakers, but obviously they have a controlling start, a 5-1 hero lead, but more importantly, that 3,000 net worth lead. And switching over to the individual net worth, yeah, no surprise, not only Brewmaster on top, but Anti-Mage right behind him. And as you pointed out, he's just getting no harass really in this laning phase, or very little. And he is most certainly making the best of it. I'm guessing, of course, we are going to see the Battle Fury, but he has one Wraith Band. He's got a second one at least queued up for now, so potentially he's going to at least build a couple of Wraith Bands before the Battle Fury.
Yeah, you gotta get the Wraith Bands. Bracers or Null Talismans. They're apparently the best item in the game.
It seems like it.
And a lot of the builds for Anti-Mage did include an Aquila before going for the Battle Fury, so
true. Still
wanting that extra damage in the early stages of the game to help out with your farm towards that big farming item.
Middle lane. Oh, Shadow Demon, he's actually almost seems unsure of where to go. I was kind of heading towards the mid, now back to the top, I guess checking for the rune right there. It's not there though. Wyvern will pick it up at the bottom. Happens to be an illusion rune. Gonna try to maybe protect it. No, it's just it wasn't gonna happen anyway. So he picks it up. He's gonna scout things out with it. Get some information at least. But yeah, Shadow Demon's been kind of rotating a bit now and leaving Sand King alone, which sure he gets some solo experience, but he may need to be careful about dying himself, honestly. Got some more Splinter Blasts that are going to be coming out, like right there. And eventually could get him low enough, and Mana Void isn't leveled up yet, but potentially getting it at level 6.
Yeah, I just don't really understand the purpose of picking the Shadow Demon if you're not going to be aggressive with it. And the fact that he's just kind of wandering between mid and bottom lane. Like, does Kunkka really need help? It doesn't really seem like that's a hero that needs the help in the mid lane.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little worried for this pick in general having any impact at all.
Well, he continues to throw out those points, but now Tusk shows up, and Sand King's like, well, crap. He doesn't have mana currently. He pops a Mango. He will have the mana now for that Burrow Strike, but again, the damage is... The poisons take time. You need to have them up. It's not nearly enough upfront damage. He's running around as if they can't see him. The Sandstorm's helping a little bit, I suppose. They're going to kill the Wyvern, but down goes Sand King. So it did take a bit longer than expected. The Mana Void eventually is as well to hit level 6 to finish out the Shadow Demon before it turned on a Tusk Cap. And so they held their ground, honestly, a bit better than almost expected, but still, they get taken out. Top lane, Shallow Grave used at the last second right there, but more than likely delaying the inevitable. One more hit, and the stand-in that's playing the Brewmaster, he gets the kill easily on the Dazzle.
Yeah, Luna relegated to the jungle. She actually cannot be in this lane anymore. Already 0-3. If she shows up again, I believe Tusk just TPs to the top immediately, and they kill her for a 4th or 5th time, depending on how long she decides to continue showing up to the lane. So much better off in the jungle at the moment. Gonna go triple Wraith Band, pick up that mask as soon as possible so she can just sustain and catch up.
Speaking of Kunkka not really needing help in that middle lane, he's got double Bracer, and remember too, that magic resistance now applies, so talk about a matchup here that he's really loving the Bracer build against the Zeus. So he's feeling very cozy right now. As I say that, Wyvern almost died right there.
That crit.
Yeah. A little lucky on his part, so Kunkka gonna regen, but everyone fine. This is fine. But yeah, he's liking those bracers. And is overall doing pretty good right now. Interested to see where he goes with this build. Is it going to be maybe that early Shadow Blade? Does he go the Arm Lid for more combat early on? It feels like a Shadow Blade and maybe catch the Anti-Mage could be a good play right here. But bottom lane, by the way, speaking of being caught, Disruption's used. But don't think that's saving him in the end. Shadow Demon, another hit. Comes out. Burrow Strike on 3 heroes, applying the Caustic Finale around, but Anti-Mage will blink out. The Sandstorm is doing work right here. He's maxed out the Sandstorm, so we saw earlier.
100 damage per second is quite a bit.
It is. But, oh, Purge even? Okay, I don't know what that exactly was going to do right there. The snowball back in, and they will secure the kill. So they just keep on having to run it out.
Saves the Tusk.
Yep, lifts him up. Now he comes back together, though. Not the most life. He might actually be in trouble. Yeah, he's dead. Ship. No, doesn't connect.
Drunken Brawler speed.
Fast slow, fast slow. He actually gets out, never mind. It is fun to watch.
Really mistimed combo there by the Kunkka. And Brewmaster gets out scot-free. Things go from bad to worse, I would say, for Infamous Young.
Oh boy. Even worse at the top lane, Anti-Mage. He's just running down Dazzle, and eventually one more hit does him in. He just got his phase boots as well, so double Wraithband phase boots, and my guess is now the Battle Fury would be next in line for him. Is that already a Blink Dagger? It sure is. Blink Dagger on Brewmaster with phase boots and a bracer at 10 minutes into the game. Oh my god, he is farmed.
This is going to be a huge, huge problem for Infamous Young. 1400 HP plus the insane dodge chance and ridiculous crit damage. I mean, this Brew, he's full carry mode right now. Anti-Mage really is going to have the freest game he's probably ever had.
Got him. Disruption on a Wyvern. He's in trouble. No curses. He's not level 6, so he goes down, but they get the turn kill to Sand King pretty quickly with Tusk and Brewmaster coming together, and now the run continues. Shadow Demon. I don't know if he's going to get out of this one. He had the Thunderclap in 3 seconds. He's just going to go for the TP play with the Shallow Grave. They do not have a stun to stop, so good decision on his part there. Does actually escape. Sand King the only death as a result after the Wyvern kill. So 1 for 1 at the bottom, but still favoring the Radiant team. And Brewmaster going to hang around to the bottom lane for now as Anti-Mage. He's roaming through that Dire Jungle. Look at the creep wave even pushing up. It's I guess he's just going to farm the Dire Jungle for now.
Yeah, Kotaro having a nice start to this game. It's going to take a little bit to get used to seeing phase boots on Anti-Mage.
Right.
I wonder if that's going to become the standard. It feels like the tread swapping is still going to be highly valuable on this hero, so I don't expect phase boots necessarily to be an every game thing for this, despite giving attack speed, which Anti-Mage also wants.
Yeah, obviously players, that's one of those, it's, of course, before the patch, I mean, boots in general, upgraded boots especially, we saw every game. So it's one of those still, you're kind of getting a feel for it idea, I feel it's safe to say, as the patch did just hit less than a week ago, of course, so. Or actually, I guess about a week ago now. But point is, still a very new patch, and yeah, the phase boots on him. No doubt can make an argument for both, though. But yeah, just farming the Dire Jungle. We have Kunkka trying to figure out where to go now as he's going to make his way back to the middle. Right as soon as he does, though, the Brewmaster jumps in comes a Primal Split, so the X not going to do too much right here. Lock down the ship. He's drinking the rum, so you know, it'll be a little harder to kill now. Lift up on Shadow Demon. There's a Shallow Grave just in case. Very early, though. In fact, by the time he gets low enough, it's going to wear off, and now he's in trouble. The rum also, well, it's still on him, I guess. Disruption save. It's not going to be nearly enough. The Thunderclap as soon as he comes down. Nice job with the 3-man stun on the Torrent as he dies, but still Shadow Demon couldn't do enough. He falls, and you look at Luna's like, do I go? Probably not.
Not with just a Mask of Madness and 3 Wraith Bands. This Luna needs, I don't know, another 10 minutes before she can even show up for a fight. It's going to have to get a BKB immediately, but she's just going to die here.
Yeah, she's forced to fight now. Pops the Eclipse, has to, but yeah, an easy kill in the end for the Radiant squad. Nice epicenter, though, from Sand King. It's doing plenty of damage, not enough in the end. That Sandstorm, remember, maxed out. It does good damage itself, too, but still not enough. Disruption at the last second, though. Once again, going to save Witch's Curse on to Shadow Demon as Sand King comes out of it. The Shallow Grave also at the last second. The Torrent hit Brewmaster for the kill, and they are going to save the Sand King. I got to say, oh, the Thundergod's Wrath actually not enough damage either. I think Sand King, he thought he had the kill, but this Sandstorm, especially maxed out early, it does do a bit of work here for Sand King.
Yeah, I mean, 100 damage per second is nothing to scoff at. A little too over-aggressive for Playmakers. just staying too long, feeling themselves a little bit too much because they're stopping the early game so hard. And you got to remember that when a hero that is on a big streak dies, they also feed a big EXP boost, and that is why Kunkka is now the highest level in the game.
Yeah, he is looking pretty good now at level 12, as a Shadow Blade is queued up. So again, curious about that earlier, and to me that makes the most sense. The idea that he can catch the anti-mage specifically, sneak up on him, and even if he does blink, of course, the X would bring him right back ideally. So like to see the Shadow Blade pick up here from Mr. Kunkka. The question is now, Luna, where does she go after the Mask of Madness? Suppose is this a BKB game ASAP? I mean, BKB would be pretty good. Zeus, he's dead at the bottom lane. Purge even used as well, but the Curse of Response, Shadow Demon melts from that. Now the Primal Split, again, they're going after the Sand King, but he is a bit tanky. Not the easiest to take out. The Snowball in. They have the damage forward in the end. I mean, it feels like we've seen this several times now. The ship coming in, gonna drink some rum on top of that. No, he didn't get hit by the rum, but they do get the kill on the Wyvern first. He's still running around the stun as he comes back together from the Brewmaster Primal Split. They do kill Sankey, but now Kunkka's manning up against the two. Yeah, Tusk activating that tag team, throws him up in the air with the ultimate of his. The nice Torrent gets the kill on a Tusk, but Brewmaster does him in.
Luna, I don't know if you want to fight this.
Yeah. It's well now Shadow Demon and actually blink away. But Zeus also joins the party, so we're not even done just yet. They want to keep this fighting. Does Playmakers, and they're going to just burst down the Shadow Demon. Triple kill for Brewmaster. That was like a, what, 340 crit right there? Yeah.
Yep.
Ouch. And Anti-Mage is farming while that chaos is happening.
Yep, Kotaro Battle Fury complete. Happily farming away in his opponent's jungle, and as far as Luna's itemization, I mean, she has to get a BKB very soon. Probably going to go one more item beforehand, but even that might be a little bit too late. But we'll probably see something, either the Yasha heading towards the Manta, but most likely stopping off for a BKB before that, or a Dragon Lance into the BKB if she wants to be more tanky.
Okay. I believe she upgraded her boots right there at least first, so I'm going to go that direction, but we'll get the idea soon as far as where we'll be headed next. But you got Anti-Mage again, the Battle Fury finished. Already has a Yasha just around the corner now as, who do they catch over here? That would be the Tusk. Little Snowball, but pretty sure he is dead, as all 5 heroes on Infamous Young side are in the area. He's making it take quite a bit, though, including the ship and everything, but finally he does go down. I like how Kotaro is just farming the Ancients right nearby. He's like, yeah, you're dead anyways. I'll just get some farm here and then peace out.
Just anti-mage things.
Yeah.
But man, this Sand King is so damn tanky. He has almost 2,000 life right now. Doesn't even have the Vanguard complete. He's going to go for that next, it looks like.
Yeah, I guess it is that level 10 talent. It really seems like he is very tough. I almost thought Sandstorm had like health regen on it for a second or something, like damage reduction. I had to really look at the ability again to make sure I wasn't missing anything. But yeah, he's feeling pretty good right now as far as his presence in this game. Of course, an eventual Blink Dagger would be nice too, but still a bit away as they are going to go on him once again. But talking about the tankiness, in fact, a Shallow Grave now applied.
Super early yet again.
Yeah, that's the problem. So they are going to run him down. Disruption again coming in, though, so these saves are real here on the Dire team. Sand King holding his ground. He's hiding behind the tree right now. The Spin Blast comes out, though, and finally the Arc Lightning hits, and they do take out Sand King. They also got the kill on Shadow Demon, and oh, by the way, Luna died elsewhere. And now they're going to just run down Kunkka. Brewmaster in his face. The rum gets drank. However, Excel popping the Cold Embrace as Kunkka went for the kill on him. And finally is going to be taken out. The mega kill streak for the Brewmaster. And why not just take out Dazzle to finish the job? All 5 are dead, and we now have a 13,000 net worth lead at 18 minutes into the game.
Yeah, this Brewmaster is just going off. They really cannot kill him. 2,000 health now. And I don't know, these saves by their team, their supports seem to be coming out a little bit too early. Really got to toe the line, especially against damage over time stuff like the Brewmaster Immolate. And it's just not working out for them.
Yeah. Yeah, Shallow Graves haven't really been accomplishing a whole lot in the end. I mean, most of them that I've seen is the target hasn't even taken lethal damage while it's been activated on said targets. Obviously, in the sense it's Not really the most useful, but Kitaro, he's just going to solo Roshan Meanwhile. Well, I guess Tusk is there, but with them too. Easy Aegis.
Oh, it was very early to be able to take that with no lifesteal. Does have the medallion on the Tusk.
Yeah.
And the double damage, of course.
That helps too. What did he just buy? He's got the Manta now.
As if Anti-Mage's game hasn't been easy enough. Yeah. He now has to just do whatever he wants.
Yeah, it seems like with how much of a lead he has, normally this would be a farming Aegis, but I feel like they just need to make it. Like, he has a Manta as well as a Battle Fury. He's actually very threatening right now with his damage output in these fights. They should be looking to fight almost, it feels like, and try to finish this game, but don't have to be fair.
Yeah, it's still a little rough to push high ground, especially since their only tower hitter is really the Anti-Mage. So running into the likes of Shadow Demon, Kunkka, Luna, and Sandstorm probably is tough, even if you have a massive lead like Playmakers do.
Yeah. Oh, Luna's found. Kitaro. Thinking whether he's going to stop her. No. Thought he might have gone in with the Mana Void, but decides better of it. Farms a creep wave instead. Still figuring out where to go. He is blinking in pretty aggressively, so it does feel like the Playmakers is trying to maybe pick a fight as 20-minute bounty runes do come out as well. But now the Sandstorm, they know Sand King's here, of course. Gonna try to catch, but he's signing in the Sandstorm. Yep, they can't spot him in time with the Zeus. Meanwhile, over here, Shadow Demon's picked off by Tusk and Brewmaster. So easy tier 2 tower. And will they keep going? You mentioned the high ground might not be the easy. Oh, is this? Yeah, he's dead. It's a Sentry, unfortunately.
High ground just got a lot easier.
Yeah.
And he's definitely gonna have to buy back here, otherwise this is 100% a tier 3 at the very least.
But he used a ship, so he won't even have that now for a bit. It's not the longest, but still.
The cleave also does a lot of work as far as wave clear, but they're just in.
I thought I saw a channel the Epicenter. He actually wasn't channeling it either way. Sand King just melts. I mean, they're going to have to buy back. I was going to say, Sand King buys back. Kunkka's holding his for now. He still has 20 more seconds before he's resurrecting, but as soon as Brewmaster comes back together, he just pops his new purchase, BKB, and just slams the face of Shadow Demon for the easy kill. He is staying dead for now. Sand King stunts back in. He's going to go for the Epicenter. Will he get it off? No, yes, he does get it off, actually. However, blink out from Anti-Mage, another shallow grave pretty early. They just take out the melee rack, so Objective Gaming is Playmakers as Brewmaster jumps back in, gets a 500+ crit, and finishes the job for the dieback. Cold Embrace helping to save Brewmaster as well from the ship coming out. The Purge, not nearly enough. Shadow Demon walking away, barely any life to go with. Kunkka, the Winter's Curse, holding him in place. And Nada, where the hell did Nada die? Oh, that was the top lane. He was trying to push. Okay, so that was the play, apparently. And they're just going to call it.
And they just call it, yeah. This is out of hand, for sure. 21,000 gold at 21 minutes. Very well played by Playmakers, and some questionable decisions, I think, in the early game by INF.Y. They really didn't capitalize at all on the pressure lane that they drafted themselves. And that Tusk Brewmaster is something that we are definitely not going to see in this series again.
Yeah, this also does feel like, and it's only one game I know, not to overdo it here with the analysis of how that game looked, but it feels like Playmakers is just a stronger team right now. So INF.Y, they're definitely in for a tough one here. Now, to be fair, INF.Y did have to defeat Duster's squad in the previous series yesterday to get here, 2-1 over them. So they got that working for them, but we're going to be going to what's technically a game number 3, guys. Again, INF.Y did get a default 1 for the first game against Playmakers due to the whole standing issue, but now it's 1-1, so we got game 3, one more to decide which team will move on to the playoffs and which team will fall just short here in the China Major South American Regional Qualifiers. I'm BreakyCPK, joined by Elevated. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.